Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Golden Moments. I'm Bruce Howard, and this is going to be kind of an unusual Golden Moments in that it's not really a great game or a really special play. It's actually a slice of time. Many years ago, as Irving Productions here in Tulsa was going through their archives, they discovered a canister very similar to this, which contained a videotape. Now, it was a 2-inch videotape, and that is a format that is long lost. It is obsolete by about 40 or 50 years. But the great folks over there at Irving, Dick Schmitz and Barry Evans, allowed us to take that canister, and eventually we were able to get it duplicated and dubbed off. And what we found was it was the Glenn Dobbs TV show from late 1966, November of 1966, as Tulsa finished off the season with a win over Wichita State and a co-championship in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now, what we're going to show you is the entire show with Coach Dobbs and his co-host Hal O'Halloran. What you're also going to see, obviously, is the incredible marketing genius of head coach Glenn Dobbs. And of course, he was a great football mind as well. What you will also see in this really remarkable lost episode, if you will, is a wonderful slice of 1960s Americana. Enjoy.
It's the Glenn Dobbs Show. 30 minutes of exciting game action and inside information on Tulsa University's hard-charging Golden Hurricane football team. Brought to you by Otasco, Oklahoma Tire and Supply.
Thank you. Here's your change.
You always save on home and car supplies at your friendly Otasco store.
And here with Channel 8 sportscaster Hal O'Halloran is the man who brought the Golden Hurricane back to national prominence, TU head coach and athletic director Glenn Dobbs.
Well, good afternoon, football fans. We really had a fine time Thanksgiving afternoon, and Wichita cooperated beautifully and let our seniors get off to a real good start and a wonderful finish to a fine career for our senior football players of the Golden Hurricane, and we were terribly proud for all of them. And they wind up with a share of the Missouri Valley Conference Championship and a real fine 3-year career record for all those boys. And Hal, well, it just couldn't have wound up any better, I know, but I can hardly wait to get started again.
It was great, Glenn, and you came up with some interesting things like left-handed passers on rollouts and all. I'm telling you, we had a ball up there trying to keep up with you.
Well, it is unusual when we can fool you fellas upstairs. I'm quite sure of that with your cameras and everything going, but we have a little bit of trouble now and then with our cameramen too, and I guess we better get to the film and let the cameramen show off now, huh?
Well, let's get to see what happened up there. We can take a good close look at things.
Well, Wichita won the toss and elected to take the win, so Tulsa received. Harry Wood, get it on the 8 and runs her back to the 32-yard line.
You suppose they knew this was in color? That's why they did such a good job?
Well, I'm sure they did. And Mike Stripling started at quarterback because we were going into the wind, and Mike is one of the best broken field runners that I've ever seen, and I wanted to wear out that clock while we were going into that wind. And Mike did a real fine job that time. He made 4 yards, 2nd and 6. He goes to the left this time, and watch him dance. Now, they almost get him, and then he pulls that leg away, makes 9 yards that time. 1st and 10 on the Tulsa 45-yard line. This is one of the few times that Tulsa's ever set out to really run the football and use up the clock. There's Gary McDermott, who really has begun to come in his own this year, and he picks up 8 yards, 2nd down and 2. Stripling now at the quarterback, gets them all ready to go. Moves out to the left, hits McDermott in the flat now. They're chasing deep over there, trying to cover Brent Roberts and Harry Wood on the deep stuff, and that leaves the flat open. 1st down and 10 now on the Wichita 44. Stripling at the quarterback, moves out to the right. Good blocking that time. McDermott and Lakuziak really decked those in men in this football game. Stripling made 2 yards, 2nd down and 8. On the right hash mark now, and got a lot of room to the left. See what Mike does. Quick pitch to McDermott going left. Big Don Bandy goes out, makes a hit. Doesn't knock him down, but off stride, and McDermott is over that goal line. Boy, he gets him down there on the Wichita 4. Dag-nabbit, he stepped out of there.
Kicked a little dust up, didn't he?
Well, I just love to see him run. He works so hard, and he wants so much to be a real good football player, and he's becoming one. Here goes Stripling out to the right. Harry Wood out in the flat wide open, but Mike goes over, and that's a touchdown for Tulsa in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Lekusiak gets back to kick the extra point. This is an amazing thing about this young man. We find that he kicks much better from about 15 or 20 yards than he does up close. He makes this one. Tulsa 7, Wichita nothing. He has a habit of lifting his head up like a lot of us do in our golf swing, and he hooks that foot to the left. There's Ekman, the number 1 passer, throws an incomplete one out there. It's intended for Huggins. It was going to be a screen. It's 2nd and 10. This Ekman boy found out a lot about rushing a passer yesterday, I'll guarantee you that. A beautiful throw, and this time to Smith. He makes 50 yards. There's a big weightlifter, and there's little Harry Wood latching on and finally dragging him down with the help of Milt Jackson. Ekman moves out to the right now. Tries Smith again, but it's short. 2nd and goal now on the Tulsa 10-yard line. Pitches out to Bonner, and he's a little motor scooter. He makes his way down in there to the 3-yard line.
Got a little tough in here.
Oh, yeah, and we jumped offside. The boys made a big play that time. Carl Hinkie tackled him for no gain, but we were offside, and they get to try again. And there they go, crashing over the left tackle for the touchdown. Huggins carried the ball. And at this point, Hal, with 2:15 remaining in the first quarter, it looked like we might be in for a scoring thing as far as both teams were concerned. They made a beautiful drive, score 7-7. Now we find McDermott trying to pitch out again, and wow, boy, did they hit. Loses 2 yards on the quick pitch. Stripling keeps to the right, rolls back, cuts back inside. Makes 11 real good yards. And Mike really does give him the leg and take it away from him. Hand off to Lekusiak, and old Gene keeps the balance as well as any man I've ever seen.
That time, he picked up 7 yards after he was hit there.
Well, he does a fine job. He made about 14, and now then they try to throw one down there, and they call pass interference, and we get the ball on about the 2-yard line, and there's McDermott on the slant for the touchdown. Lekusiak kicks the ball wide to the left. He hooks that foot, raises his head up. The score's 13, Wichita 7. Lekusiak kicks off, and what a fine job he did of kicking that football.
Your kicking game was pretty good all the way around yesterday.
Well, it has been improving each year. Warren Adams makes the tackle on the kickoff. He's made many this year. Ekman moves out, fires one in there, and Meltzer, the number 1 pass receiver in the nation, 10 yards. Charlie Hart brought him down, 1st and 10 on the Wichita 37. They lose 5, and they got a penalty for holding. Ekman back. He throws that ball kind of sidearm. Doesn't look exactly like a lot of people would want it. And all of a sudden, Carl Hinkie intercepts a pass, and over the goal line he goes. And what a happy thing for a tackle. Boy, he got that touchdown, and I'll bet he was saying to himself, that's something my brother never did. Lekusiak kicks the extra point, and Tulsa's out in front now, 20-7. Greg Barton's quarterback now. He moves out to the left, and pop, he hits Brent Roberts, one of our guests. Brent gives him that move over there. Made a real good gain on that one for 29 yards. Barton moves out to the right, gets real fine block by McDermott, and there's Harry Wood jumping up and grabbing one for 16 yards. Another of our guests today. Should have had him earlier, I guess, Hal. They're grabbing the ball. Barton dodges in between. Fires one that time intended for Roberts. Low and outside. 2nd down and 10. There's Mr. Roberts out in the open again. They bring him down after he catches the ball, but not before he got us 19 yards. 1st and 10. Barton fakes, lays it up. Harry Wood, wide open, grabs it in the end zone for the touchdown. Lekusiak kicks the extra point, and the score is Tulsa 27, Wichita 7. And Hal, that's a real good feeling. They bumped together. Must be a little screen or something. Yep. There it is, Mel Bakina. He hasn't been playing much this year. He was injured a couple of times, and as I said, McDermott was coming, and He did well that time. There's Barton firing one back into the middle. Harry Wood got 13 yards that time. Here comes McDermott out to the left. He fakes, throws a pass, and he completes it to Harry Wood over the middle for 16 yards. And there's Barton dropping back, throwing one to Brent Roberts. Both of them right together there. Now somebody was out of position, but it's a touchdown, and Tulsa goes in front 34-7 as Lakuziak kicks the extra point, and that was a fine half for us, Hal. We were real pleased with the whole operation.
Oh, you betcha. The ground game was going good, the defense was going good, and the air game was going good. Can't ask for much more than that. Well, speaking of asking for things, anything you need for your home or your car, why, stop in at Otasco, and chances are they'll have it for you.
Girls and boys love Otasco's games and toys. And here's my favorite.
Would you like to swing and play the way the rockin' bands do, with the Tiger guitar and the swinging cat and the POLYCHORD electric piano organ and the big bass drum? They're just for you by M&E. Go, Tiger! Go, swinging cat!
The Tiger guitar looks and sounds professional, has its own amplifier. The Swingin' Cat comes with amplifier, too.
Now the big bass drum! Go! POLYCHORD electric piano organ.
Play the chords with one finger of the left hand, melody with the right. Two different models.
Save on M&E's Tiger guitar, big bass drum, and piano organ, now at Otasco. Oklahoma Tire and Supply.
Here we go back to the live action now. Tulsa out in front 34-7. We find Wichita with the ball, and Bonner sweeps the right, and that boy can really run. They say he can do the 100 in about 9.5, and I'm glad they didn't give him the ball more. Here he goes to the left for 3 yards. Junko and Collette bring him down. 3rd and 1 now. Huggins tries the middle, and there's just not much room in there. Joswick, McDonald, and Junko get in on the play. 4th down and 1, and there he fires into there. There was a penalty or something in the deal there. They move it back. I don't know how they get these things going, Hal. But they tried for a long time. I think it took them 10 plays to score down here.
Yes, that's right.
And they caught him for holding that time, I believe. That erased the touchdown. So they drop back and they throw one to that big Smith boy, and he makes a fine grab. They call it on the 1-yard line. Here they go. And boy, there's no room to run in there on Joe Blake's side, and the linebacker, Junko, down in there, but they didn't make it, and then they quarterback sneaked it. Doggone it, those quarterbacks that sneak, I don't know whether that's fair or not, but anyway, they got their touchdown, an extra point, and it's 34-14.
Look out.
We try to screen out there to McDermott, incomplete. Barton moves out to the right, finds Harry Wood, good catch. 1st down, 13 yards. There goes McDermott on the quick pitch outside. That's Bob Doherty's old play, and we're just now getting it down pretty good. Made 11. Barton's running with the football and gets all the way across the goal line, and they call it back for illegal procedure. Somebody moved. Barton keeps this time, makes 4 yards, makes a good little old fake there before they finally drag him down. 2nd and goal on the Wichita 7. Barton starts, ducks back inside, and by golly, he makes 6 yards. And then here comes Bikina on the slant off tackle, and he finally gets back inside and makes the touchdown.
Boy, pay attention to some of the blocking that goes on in this game. There are some of the hardest hits in this game.
Well, both teams really got after it in good shape. Here's our end run, and that's Rabbit McCrary from Bristow, Oklahoma. He's about to get over that ankle injury and doing good. There's C. Ellison, made only 2 yards. Here comes McCrary again, moves outside and turns that field, and boy, they hit each other. He made 5 good yards that time. Barton moves out, pop. Another completion. Here we go again now. We find the big fullback going through there, Ellison. There's Rabbit McCrary carrying the ball again for 9 yards. Ellison tries to go. He jumps up in the air, and runners don't weigh much up there, Hal. They don't. They got to keep their legs digging. pass to McCrary
That's a
out
good
in the
move.
flat. He catches it, cuts back inside for the touchdown. We're real pleased that Rabbit caught that one. We've all teased him a lot about having board hands and not being a real pass catcher, but that boy was a running back over at Bristow, and well, there it is, Hal, the end of a
Right.
championship season for the Golden Hurricane, even though we had to share it with North Texas.
Well, now, Glenn, there's a couple of unusual things here in my part of the program. You don't care about these statistics. You like that final score. But there's some interesting things here. For instance, I guess the first time since you've been head coach at Tulsa University, you led the other team in rushing, or at least you rushed more than you passed in yardage. And there's the way it looked yesterday, 254 yards on the ground. And as Glenn said, using the speed of Mike Stripling and his agility in the first half going into the wind, added an awful lot of yardage to that. And of course, the rest of the boys picked up some good yardage too. And you can see what happened to Wichita's ground game, 51 yards. They did outpass us in total yardage, 307 to 227. And the punting was fantastic. Now look at that, for 5 punts, an average of 52 yards for the Hurricane, and that was really a very fine effort. So that's my part, the statistics. I like to look at those once in a while. The big thing was up on that scoreboard, wasn't it?
Well, that's right, Hal, and of course, statistics are fine when you can use them to help you, and we have in the past, and we've been proud of them. I'm proud of the statistics when there, but I don't care if it don't make a yard. The idea when you go out there to kick off at 1:30 on game day is to win the football game, and that's what we try to do. And sometimes it's difficult for some to understand, players, fans, but all of us are trying to win the football game, and I was real pleased that everything came out the way it did.
Got a whole bunch of questions for you today. You ready?
You bet.
First of all, I probably know the answer to this one. Did you feel that the team really gelled on Thursday?
Not especially, Hal, as using the word gelled as for the first time or coming together and being what we wanted. No, I thought we did real well in spots at a lot of places and a lot of times. They, I think, played real well and wanted to. I would like to think that the seniors wanted to be sure that they did all they could for themselves and the team on their last appearance. And it was just a fine thing, but we're going to be better. We have to improve each year without throwing anything on anybody that's gone before. Billy Anderson, Jerry Rome, Howard Twilley, we want to do better than they did, and we have to try and teach young men that they've got to continue to strive to improve and want to excel on their own. And I think that our seniors left us something real good Thursday with the effort that they put out.
True. Now, a couple of more questions about individuals. Where was Sweeney? Where was Dobbs? And how about Charlie Hart? How badly is he hurt?
Sweeney's groin bled full again. That injury that he got in the Houston game bled full again after the game he played at Louisville when he had to go in for injured Rick Eber. He was unable to even jump. He was hurting so badly. And where was Dobbs? Well, that's the same situation that has occurred to Stripling and Barton. There did not seem any reason to put any other quarterback in there. We were doing very well with what we were doing, and I have tried to do what had to be done each game, and without worrying about who it was. So really, there was just no reason to change anything. Charlie Hart got a badly sprained ankle. He'll be all right.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear about that. Now, do you anticipate playing Harry Woods both ways all year next year or the next couple of years?
I certainly do not, but I'm real proud of Harry Wood and the fact that he has 9.8 speed and can move in back there and is anxious enough and will work hard enough to help us on defense. Harry is an offensive player and a great one. I think he has a great future with the Golden Hurricane, and I'm real proud that we've got him, but it just got down to the point again that the last 2 games Harry had to play, and he did a fine job for us, and if the occasion arises next year, he will play defense, but I don't want him back there. No, I want him on offense. Just as I said, I don't want to get Milt Jackson hurt carrying that football on offense. Neither do I want Harry hurt on defense. So he will be an offensive specialist when we can afford it and the way we want it.
Very good. Now, when do you leave town, as the expression goes, to start the recruiting?
Well, the coaches will be gone by midnight tonight, all of them except myself, and I will leave almost immediately after the Hurricane Club meeting at noon tomorrow at the Alvin Plaza Hotel when I finish answering the questions and showing the film down there.
Well, you've had a pretty busy year, Coach. I think it's been some ups and some downs, but the trend is up all the way, and that's what looks real good. We're going to talk to a couple of the boys that you saw in a lot of action yesterday, but first this word from Otasco.
Make sure you save
On home and car supplies, shop your friendly Otasco store.
Hi, this is your Otasco man. You know, it doesn't take an art expert to appreciate beautiful sculpture. In fact, every day, more and more families are discovering for themselves the richness, the textured three-dimensional beauty of sculpture like this. More and more people are enjoying three-dimensional sound, too. The full, rich tones of stereo hi-fi, as only Philco can reproduce it. If you've been wishing you could add three-dimensional beauty to your home, here's some good news from Otasco. Right now, you can get this beautiful Philco fine furniture stereo, plus one of these sculptured art masterpiece replicas, plus 5 stereo hi-fi albums, a total $273 value for just $199.95. Otasco has a broad selection of these finely detailed, hand-finished sculptured art pieces. You'll find one that will add the perfect decorator touch to any style of furnishing. Can't you just see this dramatic beauty in your home? Can't you just hear the full, rich sound of the solid-state Philco stereo console, complete with AM, FM, and FM stereo radio? So why not put one in your home? Remember, you get this handsome Philco stereo console, plus the sculptured art masterpiece replica, plus the 5 stereo record albums, all for just $199.95 on easy terms this week at Otasco.
Thank you. Here's your change.
You always save on home and car supplies at your friendly Otasco store.
Oklahoma Tire and Supply.
Here's one of our guests, Harry Wood from Tulsa Memorial High School, 155-pound 9/8 speedster, who's a sophomore, and he's going to be a real good one with us. And then we have another guest with us over here, another young man that we're real proud of. He's a senior. This is Brent Roberts, old Mr. Slow himself. And actually, Brent's much faster than anyone knows. I hope he and I have fooled a few people because he's done an outstanding job for us in 1964. Then he missed the 65 season, and then he was one of our senior leaders this year, and he wound up with a great day. He'll graduate at midterm, and now, Hal, there they are, and you go get them.
Couple of fine boys. I just want to say that I'm a little disappointed in the way Harry loafed yesterday. This is all he did. He played 60 minutes, caught 6 passes for 94 yards and a touchdown, ran 1 punt back, ran 1 kickoff back for a total of 28 yards. He intercepted 2 of the 7 interceptions that Tulsa had. He broke up 3 other pass plays, made 3 unassisted tackles, and assisted on 2 others. Harry, what were you doing yesterday?
I was just trying to play a little bit.
You sure were. That was a fine, fine effort. I don't remember when the last time was that somebody went both ways all that way, Glenn. How long has it been? Do you recall?
Well, I rather doubt that any back that we've had in my 6 years has played that much. There might have been a couple of linemen that had to double up early, but like Tony Licio or Joe Novsek, but Harry probably has more playing time in that one game than any back we've had.
Right. Harry, what's your feeling now after the season's over and you've had your first year of college ball?
Well, I'd just like to look forward to next year because I feel that we're going to have a real great team.
Looks like it. You must be in good shape, Harry. You got hit a couple of times there real hard yesterday in the tough way, up in the air for a pass and wham, and bounced up and got out of there. But I know the paper said you looked a little bit tired when you came off the field yesterday.
I was pretty well pooped.
Feel all right, though, huh? Good.
Yes,
Now, this next young gentleman, Brent Roberts, caught 5 passes for 93 yards and 1 touchdown yesterday. And you've seen film and I've met Brent before up here this year, and he's done an excellent job for the University of Tulsa. Brent, what's going to happen now? When do you graduate?
Well, I'll graduate in January, midterm here.
What happens then? What are you going to do?
I'd like to play pro football. I haven't had any talk with anybody at all yet. But,
in the event you don't, then what do you do?
I'd like to continue my education in California, San Diego State, probably.
Good.
Hal, I might say that while the pros haven't been talking with Brent, many of them have been by, and they're all asking about him, and I feel sure that now that the season's over, they'll be talking with him, and I just hope that he gets an opportunity, because he's another of those boys who can't do anything but catch the ball and beat you, and the pros know about these kind of people.
Yeah. Would you like to teach someday down the line after a pro career? Coach.
Coach, yes.
What are you majoring in? Education?
Physical education.
Very good. Brent, what are your feelings now that the season's over? How do you feel? Compare this one with last season, for instance. Last season was a great big year, win and loss wise. This wasn't as big, but what do you feel about it?
Well, I think the potential is there. And we have just as much potential as we did last year, and more, in fact.
You think
I think
that
next year is going to be a good year for it.
I think next year ought to be a real big year.
Should
think you
be.
might stay around a while just to watch what happens?
Well, I don't know if I'll stay around. But
No, I want
I'll be
to.
listening.
Excuse me. I want to ask another question here now. On one touchdown yesterday, there were two guys down in one corner there, and we got them both right here. Now I want to know what happened.
We're just making sure somebody caught it.
Well, that's great. As long as you catch the ball, that's the big thing, I guess.
Now, Hal, that's 2 weeks in a row you've caught these boys in the wrong spot, and as I told you, when we win, I don't say anything to them, but I do gently remind them about getting the right spot. Now, here you just telling everybody that one of them was wrong.
I think you might have put that play in and scored 2 touchdowns on
Well,
it.
I tell them I don't care what they do if it works.
Well, it sure
And
works.
it works, so you weren't telling off on them, really.
No, it's just trying to compliment these young men, and Glenn, all the rest of the boys on your squad this year. They put on an awful lot of effort, and I want, if I can, just take a minute to talk about your interior defensive linemen yesterday. Now, you got some new pass receivers in Bonaconte and Hankey and some of those guys. Junko, I guess, picked one off, and boy, they really put out an effort. And Joe Blake, we ran the film back and forth, which you do all the time, and we don't get that opportunity. But we did run some film back and forth and watch those guys, and they sure gave Mr. Quarterback from Wichita a bad time.
Yes, Hal, and this is what we must do at all times, and this is what we might have done at Wichita or at Louisville. It's what we might have done at other places. But when you have young people and you have things going the way we have them going, why, all I can say is that I am tremendously proud of what they did this year. And I can remember making every mistake that we've made this year when I was a player, and I made them at times, and I know that I felt just like some of my football players. I just wanted to just crawl in the ground. I wanted the coach to quit reminding me of them, but every time he reminded me of a mistake I made, I tried not to make that one again, and the next thing you knew, we started kind of getting successful, and things started working better. And these boys, as Brent said, they have great potential and individual ability, as I've explained before, and as they get this game experience, I just think it's going to be wonderful to look forward to working with them. And that defensive line is just as I said. When we can crowd them up and keep them in the phone booth area, we're going to whip anybody inside, and it's rough and tough out there. And I thank Wichita for all the whacking they did, because they kept our boys hitting until it was all over.
They sure did. One other question, Glenn. Who looks strongest next year in the Missouri Valley?
I think that the University of Tulsa, Hal, as I always say, I'm going with a champion, and North Texas had a lot more seniors than we have, and Otis Mitchell's quitting. I think Tulsa's a team to watch next year.
Well, we'll be watching them. You can bet on that. We'll watch this, too, and then we'll be right back.
Make sure you save
On home and car supplies, shop your friendly Otasco store.
Take a look at new Philco Color TV. Philco makes a color set for everybody, for every room. There are Philco portables, complete home entertainment centers. Philco color sets have beautiful wood cabinets, gorgeous color pictures, and Philco's remarkable new tuning eye. It makes tuning color as easy as tuning a radio. Just turn the fine tuning dial until the eye narrows, and you've got it. And watch. It's just as easy on UHF. Turn one dial, and when the eye narrows, like that, your set is perfectly tuned.
Get Philco Color TV on easy terms at Otasco.
You always save on home and car supplies at your friendly Otasco store.
Oklahoma Tire and Supply.
Well, there's always another game to get ready for. Now, our next game is Arkansas. What do you got for them?
I think that we'll be more ready for the University of Arkansas than we've been in my 6 years as coach, Hal. And with that, I'd like to say thank you to the wonderful people at Otasco for sponsoring this show and giving us the opportunity to visit with the football fans out there about the University of Tulsa football fortunes each week. And I hope that if you get the chance to go by and say thank you to the Otasco stores, that you'll do so. We at the University of Tulsa appreciate the efforts in our behalf.
The Glenn Dobbs Show is brought to you every week at this time by Otasco, Oklahoma Tire and Supply, your home of better values, and by the hundreds of friendly Otasco men who serve you wherever you live. This has been an Irving production in cooperation with the University of Tulsa Athletic Department. Directed by Phil Atkinson.
And this little guard would pull out of there and kerwhop, boy, and this McVeigh looked like he was going over left guard, and then he circled in behind that.
The Glenn Dobbs Show is brought to you every week at this time by Otasco, Oklahoma Tire and Supply, your home of better values, and by the hundreds of friendly Otasco men who serve you wherever you live. This has been an Irving production in cooperation with the University of Tulsa Athletic Department, directed by Phil Atkinson. Be sure to join us at the same time next Sunday for more exciting football action and the personal comments of head coach Glenn Dobbs.